Hey guys, you there? I didn't get a chance to watch it all, Ninny, but I will. And I'm going to strike her. She probably did. Well, she's not even monetized on that channel yet, so it doesn't matter. Can you guys hear me? Flip me the bird if you can hear me. Hey, Republican Ash. Republican Ash, this is not going to be like kumbaya, so... Well, thank you. It's a wall. I had to pull the bushes up, so now I can be told to eat dirt. I would sit on the porch swing, but then you guys might get dizzy. 1 down, 2 to go, yeah. Hey, Carol. Hey, Rose. Listen, guys, this is going to be addressing Bryan's community post. Because of all the people in all of YouTube land who does not have a right to question anything said about beating somebody's ass. Yes, that's my foot. I need to do my toenails. It's Bryan St. John. And go ahead, Bryan, if you want to strike me, you strike away, buddy, because I've got every one of your videos that you've made about me downloaded. Smoke them if you got them. You got it. First person is always the best, Ninny C. You got it. So I don't go check out his channel or anything. So I started getting text message today saying, "Can you believe Bryan's community post?" And I was like, "Well, I've not seen it." And I go over there, and it's a comment made by Steve about there's one person in this world that I don't know, I'd like to beat her ass or something like that. Yeah, I mean, Bryan has threatened to beat, I know I do have tiny feet. Bryan has threatened to beat a lot of people's asses. I'll try to play here in a minute as best I can when he was threatening Ash, when he was threatening Ninny. And everybody wants to say, well, he was provoked. Are you kidding me? I've got a list of shit that Bryan... you all forget that I've dealt with Bryan for well over 10 years. YouTube was not my first go with Bryan. And I've laid down my sword and he's laid down his, and we've picked him right back up and we've gone at it again and again and again. But of all the people in the world to make a comment about a community post about somebody saying they want to beat somebody's ass, Bryan, I was totally flabbergasted. I don't know why. It really shouldn't shock me. I don't think he wants to beat your ass, Republican Ash. I think you're misreading that. No, because I have real love for my brothers, Mandy. There's a big difference. When somebody says something regarding Bryan that's not true, then I'll tell them that's not true. Like somebody tried to say I called Bryan a pedophile. I never called Bryan a pedophile. He's not. I never said that. When somebody came into Molly's stream and said it was a troll saying, oh my God, Bryan St. John just said you molested Jake and blah, blah, blah. And Molly lost her shit and started screaming about Bryan's son killing 2-year-old Braden Ferguson. I went over there and Bryan wasn't even live. I came back to Molly's stream. I said, Bryan didn't say that. So, you know, if you say something untrue about the man, I'm going to be the first to say, nah, man, that's just not true. But when Laura threw up those screenshots, Bryan said every one of those None of those are altered. And if he thinks for 1 minute that I'm the only person that was around back in the days, back 2 years ago when little Braden was killed, that saw that nasty shit, he's lost his mind. Because there's people, trust me, people closer than he knows that followed that garbage too. I know, Laura admitted it. Hello, Christy. It's probably not the only micro thing, Tawanda, but we won't go there because that'll make me sick to my stomach. Couldn't even finish my cheeseburger. But, I mean, if let's just sit and talk about a few things Bryan has done just since he's been on YouTube. He's made inappropriate remarks about Laura's daughter. No, he didn't say anything about, like that. But Laura's 14-year-old daughter's name should never be in his mouth. Ever. Now, Mandy wants a cheeseburger. Well, you know what I say. Give me a double cheese with pickle, lettuce, and onion. Hold the bullshit. I don't even like onion, to be honest with you. But, so he's done that. He's told Nenny C, who told her story of her, of darker days when she attempted suicide. And thank God she failed. I thank God for that. He told her to, bullets work wonders. And if she had used bullets, it wouldn't have taken her 3 attempts. But that's okay. That's okay with all of those people over there commenting underneath his video. Or underneath his community post. That's okay. Yes, he is a sick man that tormented the Ferguson family. He sure is. And he doesn't, I have all the proof. If anybody, hey lab, if anybody wants to see the proof, I have it to back it up. He started with that baby's grandmother. And I'll tell you exactly how it went down. Exactly how it went down. The baby was rushed to the hospital. Luke went on the run. One of the family members put on Facebook, which I think we can all agree that if it happened to us, we too would put on Facebook, if you see this son of a bitch, call the police. He just beat my grandson. And Bryan lost his shit over it. Lost his shit. And immediately started messaging that baby's grandmother as she was by that baby's bedside. He hadn't even been pulled off life support, and she's happened to deal with Bryan. So for Bryan to sit there and say, well, you don't know what they said to me. You don't know what they said about me. Yeah, they clapped back. They sure did. But Bryan started every bit of that. Every bit of it. I watched it unfold. So, and I've got proof of every bit of it. So, Bryan has been, okay, he'll tell you that, okay, and I've got text messages to prove that I've never said an unkind word about his wife. He's admitted that in text messages to me. But then he'll get on his lives, and yes, Bryan, I have them downloaded, and say that I said things about his wife. I've never said an unkind word about his wife. I've never made fun of her disability. Nothing. And he can't show you anything that I've ever said. The only person in his family that I have spoke poorly about is his son and what his son did. Now, he'll tell you because he admits his son is guilty that, everybody should lay off of what his son did. I'll be the first one to admit Bryan is not responsible for what his son did. In no way, shape, or form is he responsible for what his son did. But he has no fucking problem notifying my son and calling my son a worthless fucking drug addict. By the way, he's got almost 2 years sober, and I'm very proud of my son. And Bryan, if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, don't call him. Don't message him. You're not going to get the same response, Bryan. You're not going to get the same response. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this in there. Marianne, I'm going to strike your video, okay? Because I've never played 1 ounce of your voice on my channel. I've never showed your picture. Now, maybe you don't care about that channel because you got your other one that hasn't gone down yet, and your third one, and I've never even seen it. But either edit my voice out of there, or you're going to get a strike. So you've been fair warned. I don't usually do shit like that, but since that seems to be the going thing nowadays is to strike people, well, then I'll give it a whirl. But back to Bryan. So I'm sure you all have heard the rant that Bryan did against Republican Ash and Nenny about if he was to see him out on the streets, he would smack the shit out of him. He would beat him down. But nobody, not one of those people, well, somebody named Delta Dawn did kind of call him out and say, whoa, dude, you've said some pretty rotten things too, whoever Delta Dawn is. But every one of them has said in his lives when he has said horrible, disgusting things, and they root him on. They root him on. But he's got the nerve to say anything about Steve Tim saying something about whooping somebody's ass? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, I know I didn't see it, Trisha, but I did hear that he went back in the house and called the police on him. Bryan will say that the dude never showed up, or that when Bryan went in to get his clothes on, he came back out, the dude was gone. I don't know. But this is a man, and if he thinks for 1 minute that people believe that those screenshots are altered, he is out of his fucking mind. This is a man who made cracks about a dead 2-year-old that his son killed. Things like, I have a skull-breaking headache. I've got to go lay down. I've got to go get me some chicken nuggets and watch Finding Dory with my above-ground children. This is what he said about a 2-year-old, a deceased 2-year-old. And you know why he says he did it? Because that family, exactly, Rip Braden Ferguson, because that family was tormenting him. No, Bryan, that family wasn't. There was some Facebook page started to go at you because of your bad behavior. See, Trisha remembers. She saw those screenshots. They're not altered. Nobody created accounts in his name so that he can blame it on cloned accounts. It didn't happen. As a matter of fact, he made accounts. He made accounts. I even got kicked off of that page that freaking went at him because somebody called his job, and I said, man, you don't do that. You don't call people's jobs. Oh, I know, Nenny, that little Braden's picture, man, it's something about that little boy's smile that just, I mean, it was almost like, and I didn't know him in real life, you know, I mean, I didn't know him while he was here on earth, but my God, man, his smile would just like, you could just tell he was the kind of kid that just walked into a room and was like, boom, I'm here. Hey, Ben. But, yeah, exactly, Tricia. You remember all of this. You were around. Other people were around when this went down. But, you know, Bryan was provoked. Yeah, driving by Tricia's. Who gets provoked to the point that they pick on a dead 2-year-old? Who? If he would have gone back at those people in that group and made fun of their families or whatever, I would have said, hey, guys, you all get what you get, man. You know, you're making fun of his family, so he's got the right to make fun of yours. But he, by God, did not have the right to make fun of Braden. And he knew that was the only way to break those people's hearts, was to pick at Braden. He knew that. And trust me, I've got all the proof. I've got the screenshots. I'm just, you know, when I saw his community post, and like I said, I started getting messages, and a couple people's like, did you see Bryan's community post? Yeah. Let's see, what did he do to Justin Katz? And I watched this unfold too, and trust me, I know, Harry, but hopefully we'll get some more Bush talk going. But this is how the Justin Katz thing went down. Justin was doing parodies of Molly and Laura. And in my opinion, they were not funny. They were disgusting. But it is what it is. You know, I didn't feel the need to go at the guy. Tricia, I don't know how to show him. I barely know how to go live. I can't even put a video together properly without it being all messed up. But, and I remember how this went down. So Bryan goes over there and leaves a comment on Justin's page about his parodies being ugly. You know, he shouldn't make fun of people like that. And then Justin basically told him in a roundabout way, mind your own business. And then Bryan snapped back at him, and then Justin clapped back. And then Justin came over, hey, Steve. Then Justin came over and put a comment on Bryan's page. And he said, if you keep talking about me, I'm going to make a video about you. I'm going to make a video about you. And Bryan kept talking, and Justin made a video. Now, in this video, and I'll listen to it several times to find out what was causing Bryan to lose his mind over this dude. Because Molly didn't pay him no attention, and Laura didn't pay him no attention, so I wanted to know what was causing Bryan to lose his mind. And the gist of the video was poopy pants, shit stains, your wife has to wash your dirty underwear, and she probably likes to have sex with the lights off. That was the extent of Justin's video. Now, what did that cause Justin? That caused Justin to get physical threats of violence, to have his eyeballs ripped out, to get Justin's mother notified. Who's ghosting you? Harry? To get his eyeballs ripped out. His mama called, and yes, the email that Bryan, the things that Bryan said about Justin's mother were disgusting. See, Bryan has no problem cracking on somebody's mom. Oh yeah, I called the police because Justin made a video of him and called him poopy pants. Called the freaking police. Oh yes, doxed his apartment. Sure did. Zoomed right in on his apartment complex. What's the matter, Harry? Why are you leaving? Harry, don't go. But of all the people in all of YouTube land to have something to say about a comment that Steve made, Bryan? Bryan? I don't understand. What would Bryan, why would, oh, I agree, Trisha. What was Bryan thinking? Did he even stop to think, man, I've said a whole lot worse than this? A whole lot worse than this. I mean, do none of those people over there care that he threatened Republican Ash? That he threatened Nenny? Why is it okay for Bryan to literally make verbal threats? Verbal threats. Not just writing it out in a comment section. But I can tell you some stories about Bryan. He doxed a woman in Texas. She's a shut-in. And I've got proof of it, brother. So, I know, be true. I know. Because I don't mean this in a bad way, but it was pretty obvious that Justin was a little different. Okay? We'll just put it a little different. And I just didn't feel like, you know, when you just don't watch him. He threatened you with sexual acts, Ben? Ew. Oh, that brings me to something else he did. This is a true story. And yes, I got proof of it, Bryan, because you admitted it in text messages. Remember Dreama Krupp? He created a Facebook account in order to infiltrate one of our Darlie Routier pages. And it worked. He got us. You know, people believed it was true. It was Dreama. Yuck. Sodomy? Yuck. But, and this is what he says that I said about his mother. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. So, this Dreama person messages me, and she, which is really he, because it was Bryan. Yeah, see, Trisha remembers her. That's why when Dreama Coltrane came on, I thought it was Bryan. I thought, oh God, he's done created another Dreama. But, no, this was Dreama Krupp. Dreama Coltrane is somebody totally different. So, this is why he says I said something about his deceased mother. So, he's talking to me in Messenger under the profile of Dreama Krupp. And he's fighting with himself. Bryan and Dreama are fighting. Yes, you got to follow this. So, Bryan is fighting with Bryan, which is under the profile of Dreama. You got to focus. And this Dreama, which is Bryan, messages me and says something. And I said, hey, play the song Wish You Were There, which is an REO Speedwagon song, which I totally love. It's on my favorites. It's on my playlist. And it just so happens to be a song that he played, taking a video of after his mom had passed and they were at his mom's house. I guess something similar to a wake or something. You know how after somebody passes away. That's all I said was play this song. Play this song. Well, since then, he has lost his shit, told me I said horrible things about his deceased mother. No, I haven't. As a matter of fact, anybody I've ever talked to about his mother said she was a lovely lady. Said she was a fantastic lady. Never said a word about his mother. Never a word. So, back to Dreama. Focus. Focus, Tracy, focus. So, there's this old man, and God rest his soul. His name was Elias. And he used to donate money to Darlie Routier's defense fund. And that used to piss Bryan off. Counting somebody else's coins. you'll realize Bryan's done that several times. He's counted other people's coins, like when he counted Laura's, and he's counted Molly's. Yeah. So, under Dreama, he starts bantering in private with this old man named Elias. Now, this old man is just a senile old man, okay? And I'm sure he probably lived alone. I don't know. Elias didn't like me. He was Middle Eastern, and he told me one time that I shall always speak to him with respect. He is a man, and you are a woman. And I pounded my chest, and I said, motherfucker, I ain't talking to you no differently than you talk to me. But, yeah, I saw that, City Sights. But, yeah, now he's e-begging. Exactly. You know, he's hit on tough times. But, boy, you let somebody else get up there. So, anyways, so he has cyber sex with this old man, Elias, under the pretense of being Dreama Krupp. I shit you not. Now, he might deny it. I'm sure he'll go live and say, that's not true, and blah, blah, blah. But remember, Bryan, I got you in text message admitting to it. When you said Dreama did her job and Elias was a horny old man, I got those text messages, brother. So, he forgets. He forgets all the stuff he's done over the years, or he just flat out denies it. Yes, you heard it right. He created a Dreama Krupp, and I think she was like an Asian model. He got her off like Google Images or something, and had cyber sex with an old man because the old man donated money to Darlie Routier's defense fund. That's what pissed him off. Can you believe that? And yes, I can send anybody these text messages where he admits when I make a comment about Dreama and he says, Dreama did her job. Elias was a horny old man. Oh, it gets better. Well, I don't know if it gets better. But Elias passed away. Do you know what Bryan did? You know how you have memory pages on the funeral home site when people go in there and leave their memories? That's where Bryan decided to take his beef about Darlie Routier. And yes, I've got that screenshotted too, Bryan. Now let's talk about the 80-year-old woman who she was shit-talking him. She was shit-talking him because, well, I mean, he's very aggressive. But this little old woman in Texas, now I'm not going to say her name but he knows who I'm talking. I'll say her first name, Carol. And she was a shut-in to the point where she used to call me and she would talk for hours and hours. And I mean, we didn't really have a lot to talk about, but so she's shit-talking him. Well, he starts doxing her. And when I say doxing her, and yes, I've got the screenshot, he put her name, her address, her phone number. This woman is a shut-in. Her husband works 3 jobs to pay their medical bills. She is scared to death. She is calling me freaking out. Oh, I just heard a noise outside my house. She was that afraid. He even went so far as to make comments about this woman, or to this woman, about her daughter. About her daughter. Now, this woman never said anything about Bryan's kids or his family. Yes, she was physically a shut-in. Oh, thank you, Bill Murray. I've been playing in the dirt today. I've been digging up bushes. But thank you for commenting on my crusty feet. But, yeah. So, for Bryan to sit and say that Steve is aggressive, you can see where I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. He's been arrested, Puss in Boots. I mean, he served time in the penitentiary. He'll tell you that. He'll lie about what it was for, but he'll tell you that. So, I'm going back to my crusty feet because I don't want the bugs to bite them. See? See Bill Murray? See him? I should have drawn little faces on them. We could do them like a puppet show. So, for Bryan to make a comment about anybody being aggressive, pot, meat, fucking kettle. I've got more stories about Bryan, but see, I've been leaving him alone. Haven't been communicating with him, and he even put up a little video. By the way, Bryan, I know you're listening. Ninny really wants you to take her picture down off of that video. Hey, Denise. Hey, Galway girl. She doesn't want her picture up on that video. So, since you made your little apology tour you did, maybe you could take that down. Again, like I said, bad move on your part, Bryan. Bad move. And all you people over there in his comments, yes, Steve, a little bit, but all those people over there in his comments saying how disgusting Steve is, Bryan, and they know about they don't know about all of it, but they know about his behavior on YouTube. They know about it. That's not a secret. But he was provoked. He was provoked because Republican Ash called him while he was on vacation. So that's a reason. That's a reason to threaten violence towards somebody. No, Steve, he's from Ohio. I mean, he might have been in Texas at one point. He says he was born in Texas, but he's told me so many different stories. He told me one time he changed his name, which, who knows? You know, he put up that video about Darlie Retier's mom. And she did ask for his fingerprints because, well, he's been so involved in her family's life that I'd probably ask for him too. But, you know, he claims to be a victim's advocate. But I think we can all agree that even if Darlie did kill her kids, which I don't believe for 1 minute she did, but even if she did, wouldn't her mother be a victim? And when I said that to him one time, he said, oh, she's a public figure. Since she's been on TV, she's a public figure. You can say anything you want about her. Bryan, you've been on TV a couple times now. Does that make you a public figure? Can people say whatever they want about you? He put my phone number. I told you all about that. He put my phone number. No comment, Steve. He put my phone number like 15 times. And I told you all what I did. I turned around and played it against him. The first bitch that called me, I put her phone number in the chat and said, this is my new number. Hit me up, Bryan. I don't know, be true. I mean, he says they got married out in Colorado. I don't have any reason not to believe that. I don't care. I don't know why his wife kept her name and didn't take his. That's kind of strange. I know, you know, rich and famous people do that. They don't, you know, especially if you're, you know, an actress or something like that, you keep your name. But she never took his name. She still goes by her last name. So she never took his. But hey, to each their own. His wife is actually a really nice lady. I mean, I've only talked to her a couple times, and I didn't mean to talk to her. He came in under her account harassing me. And when I responded, she said, "This is Nicole." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole. Were you saying all these ugly things to me? Because if not, Bryan's on your account. You might want to change your password." I don't know if they are or not, Trisha. Like I said, I could care less. I could care frickin' less. I don't care if he's married. I don't care. She's always been very nice. You know, she always seems very nice. Except for the time, and this is funny, I hadn't been on YouTube in years. And I go on YouTube, and the first thing I see is her in the camera screaming at me and another girl named Tracy. And she's just screaming, 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 and saying, "I have a disability, and I hope you got cancer, and I hope your hair falls out." I was like, damn, man, I ain't been on YouTube in years, and this is what I come back to? What the fuck? Or about the time he told me he hoped cancer ate me from the pussy up. Yeah, that was lovely. Let's see, what did I do to deserve that? He says it's when I made the comment about playing the song about his mom. But that's not possible because I didn't get cancer until late 2016 and started my treatment early 2017. And his mom was passed away, I think he said, in 2013. So what did I do to get him to say that about my cancer? Oh, that's right. I put up a letter that Darlie's attorney had written her, proving that she was made an offer by the state to convert her sentence. That's what that got me. That's what that got me. And then he contacted my son, but my son wouldn't say anything really bad about me. He said I was a negative person. You know why my son said I was a negative person? Because my son was actively using drugs at that time, and I wouldn't give him money. So I was pretty freaking negative. I was real negative. Call or message my son today, Bryan, and see what kind of answer you get, brother. Better yet, don't. Just leave him alone. Because I ain't never called your family, never notified your family, ever. Yeah, tells her that people are making fun of her when most of the time they're not. And even if they were, would you really want to hurt her feelings? I mean, don't get me wrong. That Facebook group, that Lion St. Yawn was the name of it. Those people went hard on him. And they went hard on her. And they went hard on his kids. But those were adults playing Facebook games. It did not equate to the things he said about Braden. It did. And I told him that 100 times. Bryan, quit it. You look like a fucking idiot saying those things about that baby. Bryan's always been a phone caller. He calls everybody. He called a juror, and he's got the video up if you go back far enough in his videos. He called a juror from the Jodi Arias trial and told him to quit doing interviews. Told this man to quit doing interviews. As if like Bryan is some kind of freaking power person. But then again, Steve makes a comment about wanting to whoop somebody's ass. One makes a comment, and you got Ash274 over there saying, "Oh my God, this is horrible. This is, blah, blah, blah." You got other people saying, "Well, Bryan, you've always been provoked." No. If you can honestly say that anybody can be provoked to make horrible statements about a dead baby, You just don't go there. You don't go that low. I don't care if they said your daughter gets her hair cut with lawn shears or a weed eater or whatever they said. You don't say that stuff. But then lied when Laura did the video, and then lied and said they were altered. No, they're not. I have the original screenshots. They are not altered. And Trisha was around back then, and so were a few of you other people. Maybe not anybody in here, but a few other people floating around YouTube were around back then. Those are not altered. He said those things. And I would message him and say, Bryan, Braden didn't do a fucking thing to you, man. Not a fucking thing to you. And he'd be like, fuck these motherfuckers, you know, talking about my little girls. You know what? Then go at that. Go hard on them about their living children. Exactly, Christy. Always provoked. Always provoked. He was provoked into threatening Ash because she was calling him. How many people in the chat told him, Bryan, block her number? He didn't want to block her number. He didn't want to block her number. He was enjoying the shit out of that. He was provoked because Nene calls him poopy pants and stupid enough to tell her that bullets work wonders. But he was provoked because, you know, she said poopy pants and stupid. But yet, they're all over there just saying, oh, what a horrible comment Steve made. Oh, my God, he's violent. Oh, my God. But we can deep throat a cactus because we get told that about every live stream Diane has. If one of us go in there and say anything at all, we're told to deep throat a cactus. He's probably streaming this, or somebody is. And if I find out who's streaming it, I'm going to strike their channels, so congratulations. Because I got nothing better to do. I don't run your shit over here. Hey, Amanda T. I don't use your material. Exactly. They spread rumors about Steve, and it's probably cost Steve a couple friends here on YouTube. They don't know anything about this man. They don't know that he's got, you know, 1 foot and that YouTube is, you know, this is what he does. This is where he finds his enjoyment. But let's make it out like he's violent. Like he's going to hobble over, no offense, Steve, and just, you know, kill somebody. Give me a break. I don't know who's streaming it, Mandy. I'm sure somebody is. Either No Lips or Bryan or one of them probably. I don't care. Like I said, let me find it. You come across it, message me and let me know who streamed it. Because Starlight's already going to get a strike on her second backup channel because she's playing my material. So no, he doesn't admit to his. And when he admits, he only admits to a very small fraction of it. And then he always has, but they did this, but they did that. Because I can, Ted Bundy, that's why. Why is Bryan bringing up something that ain't none of his damn business? Because he can? That's why I'm bringing up ancient. It ain't that ancient. What's it been, a month or two since he's threatened to Ash and Nene C? Good, I'm glad you got backup channels for days, Rose, Marianne. I'm glad you do. It's always somebody else's fault. Always in his world. Because somebody provoked him. And the sad thing is there's people over there telling him this. Oh, Bryan, you were provoked. You know, you're not responsible for what your son did. And they're right. He's not. He's not responsible. He's responsible for what he did after what his son did. Ted Bundy was just in here. Which, what a name. I mean, that's really somebody to look up to, huh, Ted Bundy. Are y'all scared because Ted Bundy's in here? I lost respect for Marianne when she basically took to not liking me all because of what Bryan said. And this has been a long time ago, Marianne, and I can tell you exactly what stream we were in, girlfriend. Yeah, you know, is anybody afraid of Diane? Because she says, this bitch is going down. I think it'd be funny to hear Diane to say those words. I think that'd be hilarious. Just to hear her say that, because she comes off like she's so prim and proper. Marianne's just trying real hard to fit in, man. She's just trying real hard to fit in. And she fits in great with those drama ladies. She fits in great with them. I love the fact that Laura didn't put all of that stuff out there, because you slowly but surely starting to eat each other alive, and I love it. Okay, that's gross. ABC, ABC. Somebody delete that. That's gross. I wouldn't even say that about her. Somebody catch that. ABC, ABC. That's nasty. Get rid of that. I'm just trying to live my life. Hey, Crazy Mama 3. No, I can't respect them. Not when they can call out everybody's faults except anybody that's in their little inner circle. I know, somebody got a wrench. Get rid of ABC, ABC if they're going to talk like that. You know, you can't, if you call out people in your own circle, and people act like I've never called Laura out. I have. I just do it in private. You know, I just send a text message, which is exactly the way that Diane should have handled this Steve thing. You know, she obviously follows him on Twitter, so why not just tweet him, DM him or whatever? I can't, Trisha, until the stream is over. Did Tawanda have to leave? Because I know she's had a headache. Well, that's Ben. He hasn't said it in here, so. Ninny's got a wrench. Steve's got a wrench. I'll have to wrench up more people, but I can't do it until the stream ends, because, well, I'm horrible at this stuff. Tawanda, that ABC just said something horrible about Marianne, and I'm not stooping to that level. I don't like the girl, but yeah, I call you out all the time, Ben. I called you out. Well, we won't even dig up the old bones, because you've been doing really well. It was slander. It was absolutely slander. Hey, Irish gal. There's another one they go after constantly. And on her second channel, she's got the Irish twat put up. All because Irish gal is friends with Ben. Because, you know, you can't be friends with somebody they don't like. I did, Mandy, because it wasn't cool. And Ben knows it wasn't cool. And he has since apologized, and, you know, you apologize, you move on, you don't do it no more. We don't get the same from over there. I've yet to hear or see any of them apologize for anything they've said or done. Never. Never. They act like they just don't, you know, like they just wander around YouTube land and do nothing wrong. Are you kidding me? I mean, hell, it was said in Diane's stream the night they were going after Molly Golightly that Molly should kill herself. Are you kidding me? I don't know if it was deleted or not. I'm sure it probably was. But you know, Diane, you can't control your chat, right? Even though you turned around and said in a comment that Ash should control her chat. But you can't control your chat. Like I said, if you all want to hear, if you haven't heard, and I'm sure you've all heard it, if you want to hear the rant that Bryan went on to threaten Nenny and Ash, go to somebody called Rainbow Bright. I don't know who they are. I don't care who they are. No, they don't sleep. I was exhausted last night. I mean, exhausted. I didn't even stay for all of Laura's, which, no offense to Teflon Tony, I think he's probably a really cool guy, but I just totally didn't agree with his point of view on that video, and it was giving me a headache because I can't get my point across typing in chat. You know, I can't yell. I can't shake you. Of course, they all know exactly what's going on. But, you know, they're like, oh, if you can sit in Ben's chat, then he is vile. He is horrible. But yet, there you sit, right over there in Bryan's. There you sit. And here's the difference about Ben and Bryan. And Ben, I hope you don't take this wrong. Ben drinks too much, runs his mouth, and actually feels sorry about it the next day and apologizes. Bryan doesn't drink, runs his mouth, doesn't feel sorry about it, and never apologizes. There you go. I just summed him up. Yeah, they're creeping. There's probably nothing else going on this early. But that's okay. There's nothing that I'm ever going to say that... I'm not going to say that I've never said things I don't regret, or yeah, because I have. And God love, that is fair, Ben. That's a good assessment. I mean, that's how I always looked at it, you know. But you know, we talk about double standards, and I know that Kiki did a video about what's the word that's really starting to piss her off. I don't know, it's so hard to understand her videos, but there's a word that's really being used a lot, and it's really starting to irk her ass. But, man, I wish the lightning bugs, I don't know what happened to them. I guess they went out of season. But, I wish I could remember that word, but I don't know what she said. And she's neither here nor there. She lied, said I went to Boyd about her. And then she throws up some screenshots of me in Laura's chat telling the truth about somebody in her comments mentioning some Boyd members' names. And I was telling Simon about it. And I never went to Boyd. I don't look at Boyd as somebody I can just run to for protection. I don't need protecting. I don't watch her either. I did, somebody messaged me a few days ago, said, she made a video about me. I went over and checked it out. Couldn't really understand a whole lot about it. But she did make a video calling out Nenny. I think she was calling out me too. I'm not sure. About Nenny signs on to this shit. So do you, chick. So do you. I don't think they're in here, Trisha. So I'm lost too. I'm just sitting here rattling away. I'm not even reading what y'all are saying, really. I'm just out here on the porch talking to myself. Or people assume I'm talking to myself. But I did want to come on. I did want to, address the fact that of all the people in all of YouTube land that's got absolutely no business addressing somebody for what they consider an aggressive comment, it would be you, Bryan. It would be you. And I can't believe you did it. Everybody's like, what do you mean you can't believe you did it? That's Bryan. I can't believe you would set yourself up for something like that. Knowing the things you have said and done. Knowing what you've done. And then people over there patting you on your little back. Oh, but you were provoked. No. That don't fly. That's a pussy move. Provoked. Well, Ben was provoked too then. Okay, how about that? Ben was provoked. So, y'all want to play the provoked game? Let's play it. Oh, that hunchback account. Yeah, Diane addressed that. She didn't do anything about it, but she addressed it. She because they super chatted her. But we all know who that is. That's not hard to figure out who's making that account. And I've noticed something else the last couple days, but I'm going to let that go. Leave Steve alone. That's right. Leave him alone. He's of no threat to you people. Yeah, he does. Steve is of no threat to any of you people. Just like when Bryan was saying he was going on vacation and he was saying, and I'm going to go to Alabama, and I'm going to go to Florida, probably down around the Cocoa Beach area. Dude, do you think that moved me one iota? Not at all. Not at all. First of all, I knew it'd take you 2 weeks by Greyhound bus, so I had plenty of time to load up. And I don't know if you misspoke, Bryan, but you said $600 to go to Graceland. You got robbed. That's right, Galway girl, because this stuff does not mess with my personal life. This stuff, it just doesn't. I don't call his family. I don't notify his family members. Never have. Wish he could say the same. He's notified my son. Even doxed my son. Put up my son's criminal record and shit. But he admits my son's a really nice guy that loves his mother. He has admitted that. But that's the way Bryan goes at me. He goes at me through my son. And my son is not on YouTube. He's never been a follower of the Darlie Routier case. Yeah, I mean, he was just going to Graceland. How long ago was that? A month or two ago? Said it was $600? Maybe I misunderstood him, or maybe he misspoke. He doesn't scare me, Trigger Happy. Nobody scares me. The devil himself does not scare me. And no, I'm not a badass. Not at all. I tell the truth. And for all these out here that say the truth should change your name to the lie, why don't you prove those lies? Why don't you bring me one of those lies? Or why don't you throw it up in a video? Because Kiki failed miserably. Kiki failed miserably when she said I went to Boyd over. No, I didn't. I told Simon his name was in a comment in your under your video by a troll by the name of Pass the Popcorn. He says he can't come in here, Steve. He swears I have him blocked, but that's not true. I have no one blocked. There is no one. Hey, Tyra Boo. No one on my block list. He can't come to my house, Trigger Happy. Well, I mean, I guess he could, but it's going to take him probably 3.5 months by bicycle and 2.5 weeks by Greyhound. So, and if he does, I've got a big dog and I got things waiting on him. You come in my house uninvited, you're going to meet 2 people. The coroner and guide. Why not, Trigger Happy? He has my name in his title. Go look down 3 or 4 videos. He's got my actual name. Well, I got his actual name too. But go look at his video titled Tracy M. That's me. Hell, he put my phone number in his chat 15 times one day. Nobody had a problem with it, though. Nobody had a problem with it. Do I accept donations? No, Amanda T, I don't. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's Doc's hockey mom in the buttocks, as he says. Many a times. Right there in Diane's chat. But then he blamed it on Nenny, because Nenny said, Diane, he's doxing Hockey Mom. And he said, ha ha ha, nobody would have known it was Hockey Mom if Nenny hadn't have said anything. Yeah, I mean, I've got a sign that hangs on my door, Ben. It's a really nice sign. It says, welcome. If you're friendly, I don't even know what it says, but somewhere in it, it says, come in here uninvited, you'll meet 2 people, the coroner and guide. Exactly. Mandy found me on Facebook because Bryan says my name all the time. Oh, Blue Eyes, he put up a community post about a comment that Steve made and how aggressive it is, and everybody underneath it saying, oh my God. But you know, Bryan can threaten to whoop somebody's ass. He can threaten to slap them. He can threaten to kill them. He can threaten you know, he can say anything he wants, and he gets a free pass from all of those people. But we're all just supposed to be like, oh, well, Steve's a horrible piece of shit. We're done with him. Not happening. Hey, Bethany. I've seen more kindness come out of Steve in the short time I've known him than I've ever seen come out of Bryan. Oh, here's a good one. He'll tell people that he started a GoFundMe for me when, no, I'm not kidding, no, Blue Eyes, when I had cancer. Now, let me tell you how this went down. My niece started a GoFundMe for me when I had cancer. And Bryan found it. Years later, he come across it. well, not years later, because I've only been cancer-free for, I got cancer 2 years ago. 2 years ago today, I was wrapping up my treatments, I think. But, so he messages me, and he says, hey, I'm gonna, and this is when Barbie, oh, I don't want to say her name, but, you know, them couple people were hanging around YouTube, and they were making some donations, or super chats to people, and it was really irking Bryan's ass. And he says, hey, I found this GoFundMe of yours. Oh, no, this was long before that. I take that back. I apologize, Bryan. I take that back. He says, hey, I found this GoFundMe, and I noticed that none of the Darlie Routier supporters donated anything. And I was like, you don't know what the Darlie Routier supporters did for me. You don't know what was done behind closed doors. And he said, well, I'm going to throw it up in one of my groups to see, because I'm sure the non-supporters would help you more than the supporters. So basically what he was saying, and I did tell him, you know, Bryan, you don't have to do that, you know, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do it. Please don't, blah, blah, blah. And I did tell him, you know, cancer cost me everything. I had no insurance. I was paying out of pocket. I confided in him. I sure did. And so when he says he created a GoFundMe, no, he didn't. He found an old one, and he was gonna use it to try to humiliate Darlie Routier supporters. So then he brought it back up when a lovely couple was on YouTube trying to support people in our community, and he's like, well, maybe we should repost this so maybe they'll send you some money, you know. And I'm like, you're not worried about my money. You're just doing it to be a dickball. I'm not even watching chat, you guys. Exactly, Nenny. He doesn't. Yeah, that one, City Lights, is when he was threatening Republican Ash and Nenny. Because Republican Ash was calling him. Now, instead of blocking her number and going on... I know, I just made that up, Puss in Boots. It just rolled right off my tongue. But Republican, instead of blocking her number and going on and enjoying his 2-day vacation... he would rather make a video where he's stomping and screaming and carrying on, and people in his chat are okay with it. The only thing they were worried about was him having a stroke or a heart attack. Wasn't really saying, you know, Bryan, what you're saying is wrong, you shouldn't be saying this. You know, nothing. It was, you know, Bryan, you're going to have a stroke. Bryan, people in the other room are going to hear you. Blah, 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 blah. Not one person in that chat saying, Bryan, man, that's wrong, man. You shouldn't say that. Let's see, how many times has he called Republican Ash a retard? Or she's retarded? I can't even count. But, yeah, you do get a couple. I will give Remy credit for that one, because she has told him, that's not a nice word. Don't say stuff like that. You know, Remy has called him down on using the R word. But he screamed right there in the video. Like I said, go listen to it. It's on some channel by somebody called Rainbow Bright. Go listen to it. I think the Muffin Man has it up too. Go listen to it. He's a raving freaking idiot. But nobody calls him on it because he was provoked because Republican Ash called him a few times. Don't block her number and go enjoy your vacation. Make a video screaming and carrying on where you're blowing an actual gasket. Well, Ben, you know, I'm glad you like Remy, but Remy did something a while back that really, really kind of put me in a bad mood because, you know, I struggle with the fact that I don't have health insurance and I've worked my whole life and I have some major things that need to be tended to, but that's neither here nor there. She made a comment in Hockey Mom's video one time about her boyfriend's income and blah, blah, blah on a live. And then when it got brought back up, she ran to Stephanie Brown and told Stephanie, got on her panel and like cried because it got brought back up and told Stephanie Brown it was told in confidence. No, it wasn't. Of course Remy's still wrenching for him because she doesn't see anything wrong with him. They you know, it's all, what, Remy? You don't want to talk about that? The way that you went to Stephanie Brown about that? You don't want to discuss that? I think I kind of limited it to what I said. I didn't bring the whole conversation up. I saw the nasty things you were saying about me in Diane's chat. Why are you here? I wasn't talking about it to be vindictive. I was talking about health care and the fact that I can't get any. I'm not going after Remy. Happy wife. I'm not going after Remy. I was never going after Remy. But by God, it didn't stop her from sitting on Stephanie Brown's panel while they reamed Hockey Mom and Nenny and Republican Ash. Okay, Remy, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's dropped. The whole point is you all sign off on Bryan's bad behavior, but got a problem with something as small as what Steve does. I don't, like I said, I told you how I felt about it, Nenny. Oh, come on, happy wife. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. Remy, if you want it dropped, then you probably ought to tell happy wife to drop it. Irish gal. Oh, don't even get me started. Please do not even get me started. I was talking about the people that sign off on Bryan's bullshit, and somebody put Remy's name in there, and it came up. But we can drop it right now. It's never going to stop, Trigger Happy, because they won't stop. They won't stop. let's not go there, Trisha. Let's not talk about people's kids. It's fine, Remy. It's fine. We're not going to talk about your child. We're not going to talk about you. So you can go back to lurking if you want. I don't know what you're talking about, they. Oh. On the crap, Remy, you sit over there in Diane's chat when they drag and drag and drag and drag and drag. You're signing off on that. Just like these people sitting in my chat are signing off on what I'm saying. Because if they didn't believe what I'm saying to be true, they wouldn't be here. Or they would say, you're wrong. I'm done with it. Happy wife, go away. I'm sorry, but sometimes some of your comments, you sound like a nutter. You're welcome, Remy D. Have a lovely night. Not another word will be spoken about you. Yes, there are a lot of crickets around here. But no, Remy, why don't you just say it? You're talking about Laura. And Laura do you see what Laura goes through? Of course you do. Because you comment on the videos that get made about her. You said in the lives about her. So when she comes back at people, then she's some kind of evil bitch. And I'm sorry, but I'd come back too. And I'm probably going to have to come back on this. Yes, Remy, they are actual crickets or katydids or something. We can't go in other people's lives because we sub to Laura. That's how we get treated, because we sub to Laura. Okay, that's your opinion, Remy. That's cool. I'm sure she's brought some things on herself. I'm sure she has. We all have. We've all brought things on ourselves. But let's face it, other than Molly Golightly, I don't think anybody's taken a beating the way that Laura has. Well, I don't know what went down between you and Laura. I have no idea. She's never spoken to me about it. It's not my business. I've seen you in there, Badger. Like I said, Remy, there won't be another word said about you here as far as your family situation goes. But you did tell Stephanie that it was said in confidence, and it was not. It was said on a live. And Stephanie drug and drug and drug and drug and drug Ninny and Hockey Mom and Ash, and it was uncalled for. You didn't have to run to Stephanie Brown. My battery's going dead. Y'all know what that means. Trisha, please don't talk about her kid. Don't. It's not cool. We're not going to talk about people's kids. That's just not cool. I mean, I don't want nobody talking about mine. Do I talk about Bryan's son? I do. But even I was sympathetic to Bryan's situation when that happened. Because I don't feel like Bryan is responsible for what his son did. I will never feel like that. I just never. Me neither, Mandy. I've never seen it either, but... Oh, look, there's Amber K. She's the one that got all the shit started about Steve. There you go. Yeah, hypocrisy at its finest. You got it, Amber K. Because if y'all can sit over there and drag and drag and drag and drag us, we can sit over here and do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Goes both ways. I'm not even really watching chat. I just saw her name flash up and her say something about hypocrisy. Yeah, shit stir number one, Tawanda. Sure enough. And Amber can say anything, and Diane and them are like, Amber doesn't lie. Amber doesn't lie. We'll believe her. No proof. No proof. Just Amber doesn't lie. No problem, Remy, because I don't believe kids should be talked about. I meant no disrespect to your child. And I told you I feel like you have a full-time job with your child. But I'm done with it. Remember, we're not going to talk about it no more. Nobody's children should be talked about. But when they were sitting over talking about Bryan's, or about Laura's kids, didn't see anybody say, Bryan, quit talking about Laura's kids, man. That ain't cool. Not one person. Yeah. And now, you too. Good night, Remy. Have a good night. I do tell the truth. Everybody wants to say I lie. They can't bring me one lie. I mistook K Mello for somebody else one time, and I cleared it up. I said one time that Bryan doxed whiskey in his videos, but it wasn't whiskey he was doxing. It was actually Sarcasm's husband, and I cleared that up. Well, yeah, Badger, but you're not one of his groupies. Oh, look at Ben trying to be the peacemaker now. And, Republican Ash, I know she wants us all to get along. I get it. But it's just not going to happen. As long as they're sitting over there at Aratria's or Marianne's or whatever, and they're just dragging, it's just never going to happen. Yeah, it's a love fest, all right. But actually, my battery's getting ready to go dead. And you're right, Nenny. It is about Bryan. Because the hypocrisy of Bryan saying anything about somebody being aggressive is laughable. It's laughable. This is a man who has threatened women on YouTube. He has doxed them. And he has the nerve to comment on anything that Steve said. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. And I can't believe I've known Bryan for probably 12 years or more. And I just honestly can't believe that he put something like that up, knowing what his behavior has been. And even more flooring is to go over there and read his comments under that, and people saying, oh, you're always provoked, Bryan. No, he's not. No, he's not always provoked. You can't blame it on being provoked. Yeah, everybody, nobody should talk about kids. Nobody should talk about Bryan's kids, which I've never seen anybody on YouTube talk about Bryan's kids other than very nice things about his little girls and his son. His son is a public figure. I don't know, Harry. I've never even looked up the definition of deep throat a cactus. But we get told that all the time. That's not violent at all, is it? That's not violent at all. That's not violent at all. Telling somebody bullets works wonders, not violent at all. Telling somebody that they're going to, if they were standing in front of them, they'd slap the shit out of them, they'd beat them down. That's not violent at all, is it? But Steve can say he'd like to whoop somebody's ass, and oh, that can't be tolerated. That can't be tolerated. But guys, my battery's going to go dead. It's almost 9:30. Laura's going live at yeah, exactly, Mandy. Yeah, or a chainsaw or whatever. Yeah. But my battery's going dead. Laura's going to be live here soon. I just wanted to get on here and speak my piece. If you want to hear violent, go listen to that video of Bryan losing his shit in that hotel room. Go listen to that video and how he spoke about Republican Ash and how he spoke about Nenny. Go find the comments where he said a bullet works wonders. Go find those. And then, Bryan, tell me, are you in any place to call anybody violent? I don't think so. All right, guys. Probably see you in Laura's room. Peace to you all. Keep coming back. Sounds like an AA meeting, doesn't it? Yes, I know. I've been court ordered to AA meetings, so. That was years ago, by the way, Bryan. Since you want to always comment on my drinking, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in a long time, but you keep commenting on it because it just makes a fool out of you. Yeah, just search Bryan St. John. The video will come up. The Muffin Man. Oh, well, it's not Mandy. It's the Muffin Man. But either way, I don't know who these people are. I don't care. But Bryan's in no position to call anybody violent. And Steve, I know what kind of guy you are. Trust me. You've been straight up nice to me. And that's all I'm going to judge you by. So, Bryan hasn't always been nice to me, so I can judge him by it. Just like he can judge me. There you go, dropping links. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. My battery's running dead. Love you all. Be good to one another. And talk to you soon. Bye.